Hey guys, this is going to be a quick video just to talk about something that happened today. Again, just to give people an idea of how this works. So we know that whoever's running this sick program is trying to provoke the targets into a negative public response for a few reasons. First, they want to discredit the target in public, or they wanted to get the target to discredit himself or herself in public, right? So the perpetrators are sent out to provoke the target, and then of course there are people there who are going to report the target when he or she begins to respond negatively. It's a setup, right? And I don't believe that all of the people working as perpetrators realize what they're involved in. So we know that's the purpose of this, but there's another one as well. And I think, with the mass shooters, a lot of them claimed that they were being followed, that people were being told and instructed to make certain comments to them and certain gestures to them, and people could see them in their own homes. And why did they think that people could see them in their own homes? Because some of the comments that were made to them were probably referencing something that was said or done in private, right? That's the whole point, to make you aware of the fact that you're being watched 24/7, even in private, which triggers the fight or flight response. You're being attacked, you're being conquered. Instinct is to fight back, but you can't fight back. You can't fight this. You can't fight a mob that has power, resources, numbers that you don't have, right? Especially when the real criminals behind this are hiding, right? The real criminals behind this, the psychopaths running this program, they sit behind their little computer giving instructions, right? And they send their idiot lackeys out there to do the real work, understanding that when and if a target finally snaps, it's going to be those lackeys who take the brunt of that final, outburst. So, so the mass shooters, right? They said they were being followed. People were being instructed on things to say and do to them and gestures to make, and they swore that they could, that people can hear them in their home, and most of that information was hidden from the public. If you look at some of the interviews that were done with them and, in the police station, they said these things, but this was not released to the public. Why? Because if it was made known to the public, the people who are working as perpetrators might wake up and realize that, they've been involved in crimes just like this. And maybe they should stop. Maybe what they're doing is not harmless. And the one time where it actually was made public, because, with Myron May, he had made videos about what was happening to him before he finally snapped. He couldn't take it anymore and he snapped on. So his videos were out there. His commentary was out there. So they couldn't really hide, what was happening. So instead they tried to pass it off as mental illness, which is their go-to excuse now. That's all it is it's an excuse, and it's an ad hominem. Anyway, so what happens is the people organizing this send their lackeys out there, and they don't care about the people they hire. They don't care about these people they hire to work as perpetrators. They send them out to provoke the target to a negative response, understanding that sometimes that response will be violent, right? And this is why I tell targets, please restrain yourself. I know it's hard, right? If you're a target, you have to have more restraint and more self-control than is almost as humanly possible. And the organizers behind this know that. That's why the attacks get worse and worse and worse. And the more you ignore it, the more they provoke, because they want to force you into that breaking point, right? Ignoring it doesn't work. It just makes them attack even worse. So even still, you've got to try to restrain yourself. Don't respond violently ever, right? You're not going to, don't help them do to you what they want to do to you, right? They want you either in prison, right, in a mental institution, or dead of suicide probably. Don't give them any of those. Don't give them. Those are the top three. Don't give them any of those. Anyway, so what happened was, for the last few days, so my mom and I, we share a studio, and it's difficult not having our own space. It's hard for me. I know it's hard for her too, especially for me. It's not that I don't like company. It's just I also need my private space, right? I need some space, and so this is difficult. And so yesterday and a few days ago too, my mother was humming all day long, and humming, and then it came to nighttime, and I was trying to go to sleep. We're in the same room, right? And she's still humming, and God bless her. She likes to sing, and I God bless her. But that particular night, and I think it was yesterday, I needed to go to sleep. I needed quiet. It's not even like I can just go out and take a walk, because as soon as I leave, you know that the provocations are going to start with the perpetrators. And two, that can be kind of dangerous for someone who's being targeted to just walk around at night. So I did get a little angry, and I raised my voice and I said, can you please just be quiet? Please, for a little while, just be quiet. Okay, so what happened today? I got to the store and people kept coming up by me and humming, right? And then I got in line, and this guy stood behind me wearing the typical, he wears what he was wearing what my mother likes to wear. She wears that a lot. And also it's because I know, what colors she likes. So when I buy her something, I'll buy her that too, because she likes it. I recently bought her a stuffed animal in that same color, that same pattern. Anyway, so that's what he was wearing. And of course he started humming. Then he looked at me. He was looking at me the entire time, and I was kind of watching him out of the corner of my eye. And when I looked over at him, after he started humming. As soon as I looked over at him, he did the nose swipe, right? He made the nose gesture, and then he kind of pointed and made a little hand gesture too. Something that I do at home all the time. So he was mimicking what I do at home, and he was mimicking my mother humming, which, they're just showing me, hey, they're just showing me that they can see us in private and hear us in private is what they're doing. And we know what this is. We know what this is. They're trying to get humanity used to having no privacy and no freedom, to being watched 24/7, even in the bathroom, which is sick. It's perverse, right? This filthy element, this certain element, this stinking, filthy, vile element has always existed. And what they want is full dominance over everyone, where they control everything about us. Even how and when we take a dump. Okay? If they get their way this time, there's the phone. I'm not gonna stop the video. If they get their way this time, it's going to be something worse than even slavery was. Okay? It's going to be that and worse, with the technology that they have access to now. We need to find a way to stop this. We can't allow this to continue. And when we are able to make public who is doing this, and we will, we cannot allow them to escape without being prosecuted. Not this time. Not like with COINTELPRO, with MK Ultra, and even before that with Rosette Song, where the criminals running these sick, perverse programs got away with it without being prosecuted. Okay, and then so did the sadists who worked for them. Okay, at this point, you have to be a psychopath to go along with something like this. And I understand that some people are unaware of what they're doing, and they're unaware of the fact that they're involved in a crime. They're involved in the destruction of other people's lives, physically, psychologically, emotionally, even spiritually. But once they're told the truth, and they decide to lie to themselves in order to justify their actions, at that point, they're no longer innocent. At that point, they choose to self-deceive in order to continue committing crimes, or in order to justify what they've done. They're no longer innocent at that point, and in my opinion, should serve the same punishment as the psychopaths running this program. The only people who should be let off a little bit easier are those who are being forced into this, and I'm sure there are some who are being forced into this. But aside from that, we need to prosecute. Okay, they need prison and worse this time. We're not going to let this go. This time they're not going to get off. We're going to find out who's running this. We're going to find out who's working for them. And we're going to prosecute to the highest extent of the law. And if the law doesn't allow it, we're going to change the law. Fire the lawmakers and get in people who will allow us to take this as seriously as... Let me stop here. Because what should be done to traitors? Because these are traitors. These are people who hate our Constitution. They hate our democracy. They hate our freedom. And they're helping to take all of that away from American citizens. Okay? We the people are America. Okay? They're traitors. They're betraying all of us. What should be the penalty for a traitor? Especially that they accuse us of things and they don't give us a chance to defend ourselves. They won't even tell us what we're being accused of, right? So the false accusations stand indefinitely. if you consider that even convicted criminals are allowed a defense. We're not, though. This is treason, especially since it appears that they're working with a foreign government. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Peace.